Pep Guardiola is the Manchester City manager and he's the most unpredictable man in football. It would be stupid of me to try and guess even one way he's going to try and change the club. So here's 10. The 10 ways that Guardiola is going to change Manchester City. Expect this season at Manchester City the team to be a lot leaner and for Pep to trim off some of the excess fat. He likes to have teams that are a lot more tightly knit and smaller. He does this by having players that can play in a variety of positions, so if somebody gets injured, somebody else can slip into that position. He normally plays with about 15 or 16 at Barcelona. He famously said that if he could, he would sign all the midfielders in the world. I think we can read from this that he likes players who can defend a bit, can attack a bit and are good on the ball. If you're good on the ball, you can feasibly play in any position across the field. At Barcelona, having 15 or 16 was okay, but in England, with the Premier League, with an extra cup competition and not having a winter break, it could be a lot more difficult. It's a lot more cruel here, so expect him to add possibly another 1 or 2 players onto that number. In Khaldoon's end-of-season interviews with City TV, the big man told them that one of the reasons that Pep was the outstanding candidate was because of his use of young players. Now at Bayern, he didn't bring many of their youth team through, but he did buy young players like Kimmich and Coman, and he made them first-team starters. Now Bayern themselves admitted that their youth team isn't quite up to scratch, and City scored 16 goals against their youth setup in just 3 games. However, City's academy setup is said to be up to the standard of La Masia at Barcelona, which is where Barcelona, under Pep Guardiola, brought through Pedro, Thiago and Busquets. And so expect City, especially with all these extra cup games this season, to bring through a few names as well. In Guardiola's first game for City against Bayern in that friendly, Caballero made a few world-class saves. It was great to see, and it got us thinking that you shouldn't be surprised if some players that you thought were already gone, had already been shipped out, might be given a chance under Guardiola. We think that maybe Caballero, maybe Nasri, maybe Fernando, maybe Delph might be given an olive branch by Guardiola. And fundamentally, we think that actually every player at City right now is going to be given a chance to prove to the big man that they've got what it takes to play in his team. Like we said before, Guardiola likes to have a small team, so if there's a player who's injury prone, that takes up a valuable position in his team. This makes us worry a bit about Vincent Kompany. Over the last few seasons, one of our major problems has not been having a stable centre-back pairing that you can rely on. I think every good team has one, we just haven't had one, and partly we've got to say that that's down to Vincent Kompany getting those injuries. I think that Guardiola's going to give him a chance. He said that he knows he's a magnificent player, but if September comes around and Vincent Kompany's hamstring gives up and he's out on the sidelines for 3 months, expect Pep to be forced to look elsewhere. We might have to resign ourselves this summer blues to not making a Galacticos style signing. While Paul Pogba might be moving on and Lionel Messi looks like he's not going anywhere, unfortunately, we've signed a player like Gundogan, for example, who he's not got that star quality because he's not a full kind of attacking player, but he is a very good signing, don't get me wrong. I think that City's philosophy in the transfer market is starting to change, and we're looking to buy the best young talent around the world, get them in early, don't pay as much, take a punt on them basically, and hope that they grow into being some of the best players in the world. And if they don't, well, we can sell them on and maybe make a few quid in the process. Manchester City's philosophy in the transfer market is changing, it's adapting, and we're not going to be taken as fools anymore and made to pay over the odds. Everything you think you know about Pep Guardiola, rip it up, start again, because we think that he's going to change some of the things that you most strongly associate with his style of play. Whereas at Barcelona, he had the best team possibly ever, and he had the best player undoubtedly ever in my mind. He could afford to play his style all the time. At Manchester City, we don't have Lionel Messi, and we've got teams that are a lot more difficult who will really provide much more of a challenge than your Levantes or your Getafes. Stoke away is a very difficult game, and if he has to play, for example, a long ball here and there, I think we could expect to see him do that, to have to break them down. So everything we think we know about him, tiki-taka, possession football, high pressing, expect that to change. He has to deal and adapt and learn, as he said himself, how the Premier League and how English football really works. One of the interesting things from the City TV training footage is hearing Pep talk to his players. It sounds to us like exclusively in English, despite obviously it's not his first language himself, but he's making that effort, and I think he's going to want his own players to make that effort too. He'll want to destroy any cliques. He doesn't want little groups hanging around with each other, being best friends. He wants everyone to be on the same page. So all the Spanish players who notoriously A lot of them don't speak very good English, apart from Pablo Zabaleta, you Manc hero. He wants everyone to be communicating with each other. He wants everyone to be good teammates, and we think it's a good idea. For our new manager, reputations and everything that's gone before are meaningless. We start fresh, and if you think that you are bigger than the club, well, that could be a problem. At Barcelona, he came in, he got rid of Ronaldinho, he got rid of Deco. A season later, he got rid of Eto'o. At Bayern, he did it with Mandzukic. So if you think that you are too important or too good, and you don't have to follow instructions and you just do what you want, well, I think Pep Guardiola is going to say bye-bye. Pep is known for working in small stints at clubs, making them great, winning everything, and then moving on and waving goodbye with a tear in his eye. So at Manchester City, the same is expected. He signed a 3-year contract. However, at Barcelona, he had to deal with the politics of the club. At Bayern, there was a bit of that as well, and there's very high expectations at Bayern too. Whereas at City, it's probably a bit more relaxed. He's not going to have any of the politics to deal with. His best mate Cheeky's here, who gave him his job at Barcelona, and who knows, he might go to enjoy the Manchester weather, possibly, and stay beyond his 3 years. Come on Pep, you know it's the right thing to do, mate. Pep Guardiola has always enjoyed reinventing players and bending them and shaping them to his will. Yaya Toure played at centre-back for Barcelona in a Champions League final. Philipp Lahm was a world-class full-back and then moved into midfield. And Messi, well, he became the false 9 and became the best player the world's ever seen. So at Manchester City, expect some changes. Delph has already hinted at playing at left-back. Fernando's been training with the defenders. And Yaya Toure, well, could end up in net at this rate. So there's our 10 Blues. It was a bit of a thankless task. We gave it a go, but let us know, what do you think? How is Pep going to change things up at City? Is he going to sign Dedrick Boyata back? I think he definitely is. Let us know what you think in the comments. Drop a like on the video. You know how this works. Subscribe if you're new. We'll see you in a bit.